Hello everybody, this is John. Welcome to the NCGA Valent Ag Weather Outlook, September 24th, 2016. Hope everybody's doing well. I know we're in the middle of harvest operations in many areas, so we don't want too much rain now that's going to give us problems with field work. And some areas certainly had it, and you can see that over the last week here, over parts of northeast Iowa and surrounding states, a large part of Wisconsin, southeast Minnesota. So that area is definitely very soggy as far as soils go. Now the rest of the area you can see was very quiet, very little. So really we only had that one spot of significant rain over the last week. So the trend, I think, sometimes it's hard to see that overall trend because of one area here. If you take that out, it was actually a very quiet week. But soils are still wet. We still have that vulnerability over many areas. So if we would get additional rain over Indiana and Illinois or Missouri, we could very quickly go back to where we have very wet fields. I don't see that. But look at Minnesota, the areas that got rain last week, really soggy. We need some dry weather. Now temperatures though didn't hurt last week. We had well above normal temperatures, really unusually hot for this time of year, 6 degrees or more above normal. So that did help dry out soils in areas that didn't get that additional rain. Now this week, if we look at the weather forecast this week, we're going to have a quick shot of cool and dry weather moving through. It's going to be short-lived. You can see we have northwest flow here in the jet stream. This is that real small little impulse coming through that'll be bringing the dry weather in, but it'll be quite noticeable. Matter of fact, when I take the 5-day average of temperature, you don't even see that blue. You don't really see it because it averages out. But if I look at one specific day, this is Tuesday morning, here we go. There's that cool air over most of the Corn Belt, 3 to 5 degrees below normal, in some cases even more. So that will be pushing in early this week and then pushing out later this week. Now there could be some showers here and there with that, but it overall is going to be a much quieter week. Couple pockets of more moderate rain along this axis here. Very heavy rain in Texas, pushing up through parts of Oklahoma, and some of that could extend into the Corn Belt here. But areas that have been unusually wet last week generally will be receiving light rain at the most. Most of the Corn Belt, it looks like it's going to be below average precipitation. Okay, now let's look at a little bit further out. Here's the 8 to 12 day range as we get into October. And that jet stream lifts up again. Now, when we see brown shades on these images, that's saying that the jet stream is further north than normal. So temperatures above normal again, mainly over the western Corn Belt, over the central Corn Belt, fairly close to normal, maybe a little bit above normal, eastern Corn Belt near normal. So again, a shot of cool air, won't last real long, and then getting back to generally normal temperatures over most areas, but over the west, look at that, well above normal. 4th through 9th of October, here we go. Pretty typical jet stream. I don't see much shading here, blue or brown. That's saying the jet stream is pretty much where it should be. We have a jet stream that goes from west to east. There's not much energy in there. I don't see much amplified nature of the jet stream, and that means not a lot of energy and generally dry weather. Temperatures near to a little bit above normal. So that's the temperature story. So let me just sort of reiterate temperatures. Starting out quite mild, very warm early this weekend and into the early of the week, then a shot of cool and drier air, much noticeably cooler and drier air, maybe 2-3 days, and then moderating out of that, getting back into a period of above normal temperatures, near to above normal temperatures that will last then through 15 days. Okay, so that's temperatures. Let's look at precipitation here. Here's week 1. Really, I think next week when I do this briefing, I'm going to be talking about a quiet week over most areas, maybe a little bit of rain, but overall below normal. Look at all that yellow, that's below normal. Week 2, hardly any change in this graphic. Perhaps over the central plains here, some scattered heavier rainfall, but the rest of the Corn Belt looks quite dry. We'll have to see how this shapes up. I'm not all that convinced on that, so it might not be all that impressive. Now, I know it's a critical time of the year, so let's look a little bit further out. Week 3, temperatures. Right now, the outlook's for near to maybe even below normal temperatures in week 3 and dry weather as well. So really, I think the theme here is that the wet pattern that we have is slowing down. maybe even fairly quickly for most areas. Parts of areas have been very wet, like Missouri, Illinois, are going back to back to back, maybe 3 weeks in a row with below normal precipitation. So I think as far as problems with excessive rain, getting into fields, soggy fields, that is, even though we had some issues last week, that is very quickly coming to an end. I think there still could be some issues, but overall it looks like below normal rainfall in most areas. Temperatures after a cool down through the middle part of this week, overall I think we're looking at near to a bit above normal temperatures right into the middle of October. If you have any questions at all, if you have real critical operations, you need something very specific, always feel free to email me. There's my email address, john@bluewateroutlook.com. I can help you out with anything you need if you have something I have not answered here. Take care.